But back when you hosted The Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all,
Sean Diddy Combs is watching his empire crumble. And this time, not even his millions can clean up the mess. What's happening behind those closed doors sounds like something from a crime series. And word is, his own legal team might have played him like a fool. People close to Diddy are whispering that he's furious, pacing in his cell, saying he wasted over $20 million on lawyers who sold him a dream and delivered a nightmare. For months, they told him, "Don't worry, we got you. You're walking free." But the reality hit hard because he's still in custody. Serving time in federal prison, those Mann Act charges hit him like a freight train. His attorneys swore he'd walk away untouched, but instead he hit the floor. Insiders say he broke down in court, shaking, sweating as the judge's words sank in. That was the moment he realized, power doesn't protect you anymore when the system decides it's your turn. The whispers started immediately after. He's losing it. One courtroom source said he looked like a man watching his world disappear. And to make it worse, he knows he's paying top dollar for failure. "I spent over $20 million on y'all," he reportedly shouted during one meeting. That moment told everyone in the room, Diddy isn't the boss anymore. He's desperate. His lawyers tried to calm him down, telling him they had one last wild card. "We'll go straight to Trump, we'll make it happen." And suddenly, the rumors exploded like fireworks. Donald Trump dropping exclusive headlines saying Diddy was days away from a presidential pardon. Twitter exploded. Podcasts, YouTubers, commentators, everyone weighed in. People genuinely thought Trump was about to swoop in and save Sean Diddy Combs from a federal sentence. Even celebrities were shocked, posting memes, reactions, and asking, "Is this real?" But when reporters reached out to Trump's camp, the story collapsed. They were blindsided. "Pardon who?" one insider allegedly said. Another source responded bluntly, "Diddy, never heard of that." That's when confusion turned into full-blown chaos. Somebody was lying, and lying badly. So what actually happened? When we dug deeper, the truth was wilder than anyone expected. Word on the street is Diddy may have been scammed, not by enemies, but by the very people he trusted to save him. Sources say through high-priced lobbyists, Diddy funneled millions trying to buy influence near Trump's inner circle. But these weren't officials, politicians, or anyone with real power. They were middlemen, power chasers. These weren't political power players, they were hustlers in suits, people who talk fast, drop big names, and vanish the second the check clears. One insider joked some of these guys have Diddy saved in his phone as food ninja because they've been eating off him nonstop. And the wildest part, they allegedly told him a presidential pardon would cost around $10 million. Real political insiders laughed when they heard that. If pardons went for $10 million, every crooked billionaire in America would already be out at another zero. Maybe two, if you want to even dream about it. But Diddy, blinded by fear and staring down a federal sentence, believed every word. He was ready to throw money at anyone who promised hope, no matter how unrealistic. That's when his star lawyer, Nicole Westmoreland, the same attorney who went viral for crying in court during his hearing, stepped into the spotlight. To Diddy, she was supposed to be the secret weapon, the powerhouse, the legal savior. But insiders say she played her role a little too well. Some people called her breakdown embarrassing. Others swore it was strategy. Because in a courtroom where Diddy looked like the villain, a crying lawyer makes the jury see vulnerability. It softens the monster. It sells emotion.
Everyone's coming up to me and saying, "Did you see Nicole Westmoreland?"
bullshit.
Crying. People go, we had to do a double take, like, was that really her on the, like, she was literally, you guys, bawling while giving a statement. Like, we don't see that often. Usually lawyers are, like, calm, cool, and collected. she was up there crying as if like she was one of Diddy's family members.
A woman named Nicole Westmoreland, who's a lawyer for Combs. She happens to be black, which is relevant to what I'm going to tell you. She's standing up, like arguing for his life, basically trying to get the sentence to the bare minimum. It continues her emotional appeal to the judge. I think we're quoting here from CNN still, or the New York Times, through sniffles and tears by insisting that her client was indeed remorseful. Quote, "I will tell you that Mr. Combs has been sitting in a jail cell for 13 months, she said. He's clear-headed. He's drug-free. He's determined. He's focused, and he's remorseful."
Word is Diddy paid her over $2 million just to show up. And honestly, she earned it. She wept. She shouted. She threw herself into the performance like a star actor in a Tyler Perry finale. And make no mistake, that wasn't just lawyering, that was acting. The cameras loved it, but the judge didn't flinch. Her performance went viral, but inside that courtroom, it didn't move the needle at all. Still, the real game was happening behind the scenes. Nicole publicly claimed, "We've been in contact," and the press swallowed it immediately. Rolling Stone page 6, everyone ran with the headline, "Diddy Pardon Talks Underway." But insiders say it was all smoke and mirrors, a strategy, a distraction, a stunt to make Diddy look untouchable. Behind closed doors, it was chaos. Diddy's team refused to release any more money unless someone confirmed the deal was real. They treated it like they were negotiating a luxury car, not federal mercy. One of Trump's former associates allegedly told them straight up, "That's not how this works. You're not buying store credit, you're buying silence and access." But Diddy didn't want access, he wanted guarantees, and guarantees don't exist in this world. So he hesitated. And when the verdict came down, reality crushed him. That's when the scrambling started. Word is he wired money through intermediaries. And those intermediaries ghosted him the second the transfer cleared. Now the streets are saying it plainly. Diddy got conned badly. People in his circle are divided. Some say he was targeted by elite political grifters who recognized desperation and pounced. Others say this is pure karma. The same kind of manipulation he used on others is finally circling back to him. Either way, one thing is certain, that pardon is not coming. Even Trump's people are distancing themselves. One insider reportedly said, "We're not touching that man, not now, not ever." But Diddy's team, they're still out here pushing fake leaks, testing the public, watching reactions, trying to manifest a miracle that simply isn't on the table. They want to see if the public outrage dies down enough to try another move. But every time Diddy's name trends, it's worse than the last. And it's not just the law closing in, it's his entire reputation collapsing in real time. Remember when Diddy could walk into any room and people straightened up? When celebrities wanted his approval, labels wanted his cosign, and the industry treated him like royalty? Yeah. Now they whisper. They look away. His former friends are ghosting him. His old collaborators are quietly scrubbing him from their portfolios. Even the party crowd, the ones who used to orbit him for the lifestyle, silent. And that silence is louder than any headline. Though what's wild is that Diddy's downfall always circles back to the same two flaws: arrogance and cheapness. This man has been worth hundreds of millions, but prosecutors literally presented texts of him arguing over escort prices, petty haggling over a few $1,000s. And in the end, that stingy, greedy behavior became part of the evidence proving he was transporting women for prostitution.
Ecstatic. Sean Combs, considering this courthouse, this prosecution team, these charges, where he was a year and a month ago when he got arrested, and where he is right now, he should be ecstatic. Nobody wants to be in prison.
He was out here negotiating $3,000 invoices like he was at a flea market, and those messages helped put the nail in his coffin. If that wasn't enough to seal his fate, the real turning point was his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, the one who truly knew him. She knew what terrified him: humiliation, loss of control, losing money, losing influence, losing the image he spent decades building. For years, she stayed quiet, tried to handle things privately, tried to walk away without burning down the empire, but Diddy couldn't stop himself. He mocked her publicly, tried to humiliate her at award shows, flexed his power like she'd always stay beneath him. He believed she'd never strike back. That arrogance cost him everything. Because when Cassie finally snapped, she didn't just call a lawyer. She lit the fuse that blew his entire empire into ashes. She didn't call just any attorney, she called Douglas Wigdor, one of the most aggressive, feared litigators in the country. And together, they didn't file a lawsuit, they launched a missile.
This week has been extremely challenging, but also remarkably empowering and healing for me. I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from abuse and fear. For me, the more I heal, the more I can remember. And the more I can remember, the more I will never forget.
The moment that complaint hit the courts, everything shifted. Federal investigators who had been circling for years suddenly had a roadmap. Names, dates, locations, patterns. Cassie's testimony wasn't just a story, it was a blueprint. And once the feds had that blueprint, the whole machine turned on. Diddy thought it would blow over. He thought people would move on. He thought the world would forget, the same way they always had before he was wrong. Cassie cracked something deeper than his pride. She cracked the silence that protected him. And once that broke, the floodgates opened. Women came forward. Former employees started talking. Security guards, drivers, assistants, people who had been terrified for years realized the king wasn't untouchable anymore. And that spotless image Diddy curated for decades, the mogul, the family man, the billionaire brand builder, collapsed overnight. Here's the twisted part. He could have avoided all of this. Presidents can issue pardons before charges are even filed. It's rare, but it's legal. A preemptive pardon. Though no public credible source confirms Diddy pursued this at the right time. Diddy had the money. He had the connections. He had the window of opportunity. Especially right after that apology video went viral and the public pressure was at its peak.
On the darkest times in your life, sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry.
But he missed it. Why? Ben saw it because his lawyers told him Cassie didn't have a case. They told him he was safe. They fed his ego, and he ate every word. His arrogance cost him everything. Instead of preparing for the storm, he flew to New York and did exactly what the feds needed him to do. He panicked. He started calling people, shuffling money, trying to silence witnesses, trying to buy loyalty the same way he always had. Except this time, everyone was already watching. The feds had his phones tapped, his movements tracked, and his entire inner circle was cracking from the inside. By the time federal agents hit the gates of his mansions, it was over. He tried to buy time, he tried to buy silence, he tried to buy loyalty, but money doesn't buy mercy. And the people he thought would ride for him, they vanished the minute they realized his empire wasn't worth saving anymore. The moment the temperature rose, his so-called allies transformed into witnesses. The same circle that used to bow their heads when he walked into a room suddenly became the ones feeding investigators everything they needed. And now, sitting alone in that cold concrete box, Diddy is realizing the one truth he spent his entire career avoiding. The same manipulative game he perfected is the same one that's finally swallowing him whole. He spent decades pulling strings. Now he's the puppet, jerked around by prosecutors, by informants, by former friends who now see him as their ticket to survival.
He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, he sort of, that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know, he didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden, you know.
So now the question everyone's asking is simple. Is Diddy finally paying the price for everything he's done? Or is there still a hidden card, a final play, waiting to drop? Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear your take on this whole situation. And before you go, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more raw, unfiltered stories straight from the culture. This saga is far from over, and trust me, the next chapter might be the one that breaks the internet.